Hello, everyone. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Today is Memorial Day, and we have a Power Pack show with Dr. Bill Warner. We also have Chris Prince via Skype with us today. So we look forward to answering a lot of good questions. We have a lot of Power Pack information for you concerning Sharia law. Does Sharia law actually solve human problems? Now, I have a lot of information and I'm prepared for. We're locked and loaded, and we're ready to really break down this topic from an educational standpoint, from a spiritual and biblical standpoint. And Dr. Bill Warner, are you there? Chris
I'm
Prince?
here indeed.
All right. Well, thank you. Okay, we're ready to go now. So does Sharia law solve human problems? This is a very important question. With you have Europe, so many different issues we're having right now concerning Islam and Sharia law. We have a tribune set up in Texas as a voluntary tribune in this basically for theoretical and practical stages. So what do you have to say about this? I mean, does Sharia law really solve human problems?
It solves Muslim problems,
Correct.
but it doesn't solve human problems, because humanity is divided by the Sharia into believer and kafir. So it does solve the problem of how to subjugate the kafir, but as a kafir myself, a non-Muslim, I find that I don't really like the solutions that Sharia brings for me.
So can you elaborate a little bit more on that? The solutions, you do not like the solutions. Why wouldn't you like the solutions of Sharia law? I mean, a lot of individuals in America are probably clueless to this. They may not understand. What do you have to say about that?
Well, again, let's go back. It is the purpose of Sharia to impose the will of Allah as expressed in the Quran, as well as the Sunnah of Muhammad. So all we have to do is to look into the Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad, and we'll discover how the kafir, the non-Muslim, is to be treated. Amazingly enough, the majority of the Quran is about the kafir. I think, I don't have the figures in front of me, but I'm noted for counting up how much of a text is devoted to something, and I think it's 61%. That figure could be wrong, but it's over half of the Quran is devoted to the kafir. And all of it is bad. For instance, Allah says that the kafir is the lowest of creatures, worse than animals. Kafirs are hated by Allah, and we're not very bright either. So that's just the starting, that's one of the cornerstones of the Sharia, and the Sharia goes about basically saying, well, how can we put all this in place in a governmental form? The proper role for the kafir in the Sharia is to be a dhimmi, D-H-I-M-M-I, and a dhimmi is harshly treated and does not have what we would call full human rights. A dhimmi in the system of Sharia government, the dhimmi is not even really, you could call him a third-class citizen or a semi-slave, but the rules and regulations, which, let's just take one, there's no freedom of speech. So, now I find the Sharia process very painful for the kafir, and all we have to look and do in northern Iraq, we can see how Islamic State is applying the Sharia to the Christian and the non-Christian. So, no, I know a bit about Sharia, and it creates more problems for me than it solves. Now, let me say, Islamic State will tell you that the Sharia solves all of their local problems.
Wow, that is very interesting when you speak of the conflict of interest of course, our Constitution does not honor or have any respect to obey foreign law, and especially the law of Islam. So when you speak of the actual kafir, explain what that technically is for someone in a Western society who may not understand some of these terms that you speak of when you say kafir and the actual different classifications, the actual lack of freedom of speech, and so many other things that we value here in America, as far as, of course, the First Amendment and so many other rights that we have concerning human rights. Because what I'm hearing now is that Sharia law actually imposes bondage. It imposes slavery in some aspects from what I'm actually hearing. And so can you explain exactly what a kafir is so we can have a better understanding? You did bring up Iraq as well.
Well, a kafir is the Arabic word which means it's usually translated as non-believer or infidel.
Okay.
But I usually choose not to translate it because Let me give you an example. Non-believer is one of the ways that kafir is translated. But the term non-believer is a very neutral term. I'm a scientist, and I happen not to be a believer in the Big Bang Theory.
Correct.
But some people may argue with me about that, but I'm not to be persecuted because of my beliefs. Whereas a kafir can be persecuted for his beliefs. So non-believer is a neutral term. It's just Aristotelian logic. I'm not a member of the set of believers, whereas kafir has a lot of baggage that goes with it. I call kafir the worst word in any human language.
Yes.
Because if I use a racial insult to a black man, that is my personal opinion, and you can say, well, Bill is bigoted. But when a Muslim calls me a kafir, that is not his personal opinion. That is a technical term found in the Quran and used for the non-believer.
Wow.
A kafir can be crucified, tortured, punished, deceived, for instance. So all of the attributes that come with being a kafir under the Sharia are dreadful. Or at least as a kafir, I look at them and go, you know, I don't like that at all.
Wow.
I'm somewhat of a dissident in my political views. So I value free speech, and under Islam and under the Sharia, shall we say, there's no such thing as free speech. And if you don't believe it, try talking about Muhammad in a way that is offensive.
Correct, and we just pretty much seen that down in Texas with Pamela Geller, where
Yes,
you
we
actually
did.
had the cartoon drawing in which there was an actual jihadist attack against freedom of speech, and we have a lot of other examples. And it's very important to connect kafir, actually the term of Islam was found in the Quran exactly to the unbeliever. So here it is, we're talking about anyone who does not believe in Islam, does not consider them an actual convert of Muhammad. And so this is an actual classification in which Sharia law is to oppose bondage and oppose slavery even in regards to us not believing in these set of laws. Now, Christian Prince, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'm here.
Okay, you're hearing the discussions, you are hearing what is being stated. What is your take on this?
Well, you see, discrimination have many ways, and Islam goes in every direction. It's not only against the non-Muslims. There's even discrimination against the Muslims themselves. As an example, can you be a free person in Islam as a Muslim? Like, can you even eat the food you want to eat? Can you be even an equal? Can a woman be equal to a man? Can be a free man equal to a slave man? So the Islamic society divide people to by gender, by religion, by by even by color, because Muhammad is a very racist man to black people.
Correct.
So Muhammad, he make it clear that everyone who will go to heaven, Allah will make him white. Like the Quran says, "يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ." In the day where faces will turn white and faces will turn black. And if you go to the interpretation, you will see this is not about metaphorical. This is about something real. According to Islam, when you go to heaven, you will drink a water like Alice in the Wonderland, and then you will become 60 or 90 foot tall, and then you will turn to a white person, and then you enter heaven. So even heaven is not, black people are not welcome in heaven. So Islam is a religion, discriminate even Muslims themselves. Like, you see Muslims speaking about Bilal. They say, do you know Bilal? Bilal was the first one who called for a prayer in Islam. Yes, because he was a slave. Not because Muhammad, he loved him, not because he favored him, because nobody want to do that hard work, going in the roof in the early morning and start screaming calling for prayer. You will see Umar al-Khattab never did that. The free men didn't do that. It was black slaves do that always. And Muhammad, he died, and the slave Bilal, he never get his freedom yet. This is why we see Bilal after the death of Muhammad, he come to Abu Bakr and he say, if you bought me for the sake of Allah, well, release me. If you bought me for yourself, then keep me. So we have a very great example about how Islam discriminate. Islam create slavery more and more. And you will see a Muslim saying to you, do you know in Islam to be forgiven, we have to free a slave? Well, that is actually a problem. Why? Because that means you have to go buy slaves in order to free slaves. And that means that the marketing of slavery will flourish, will go crazy. It's like, in order to be forgiven, slaughter a chicken, but this is mean I have to buy a chicken, I have to capture a chicken in order to slaughter the chicken. So that is not really a solution, because if your God is good, what about saying that slavery is forbidden? Actually, the Quran encourages slavery. So uh, it's not only against the non-Muslims. I see that there is a problem inside the Muslims. As an example, what about discrimination for women? If a Muslim man, let's just say a father of a family, he die, the Muslim female, she will not inherit equally to the Muslim male. She is the half of a Muslim man. What about the witnessing in the court? A woman in the Islamic court, she is not equal to the man to be a witness. Actually, if there's 1,000 women, they saw a crime, their witnessing is not accepted, because at least they have to have one man between them, one man and two women as witnesses. If there's no man, the witnesses is not approved. The only witness a woman is approved for, if there is no man, is giving birth, because men are not allowed to witness in a woman giving birth. Otherwise, everything else, women, she is not counted as witness, as a full witness. And Muhammad, he said even the women, they have deficiency in their mind and their brain. And even he claimed that they have deficiency in their religion. So you will see Islam accusing everybody to have a problem. Simply, it's based on the mood of Muhammad. Muhammad, he said, kuffar are bad. Like Muhammad, he said, وَإِنَّمَا الْمُشْرِكُونَ نَجِسٌ. Have you ever heard about the no-go zone in South Africa before? Well, the no-go zone exists 1,400 years ago. Muhammad, he forbade non-Muslims to walk and to get to the city of Mecca. And if you enter the wrong exit in the city of Mecca, you will be beheaded. And yet, the Muslims, and they come to us and they say Islam speak about a human right. So Islam is anti-human right. Actually, Islam is anti-human. It doesn't matter if they are Muslims or non-Muslims. Like my brother, Dr. There, he said, like he spoke about his point of view as a kafir. The fact Islam discriminates everybody, even the Muslims. Like, can a Muslim even don't go to pray? Can he say, I don't want to go to pray? Like, even this is simple right a human being should have for freedom of believing or not. Can he say, I don't want to be a Muslim? Can he say, I don't want to eat this food? Can he say, I don't want to say those words? No, he cannot. Islam is a religion of slavery. This is why you see, if you ask a Muslim, why Allah he created you? He will say, Allah created us to worship Him, to be His slaves. So from the beginning, it's about slavery. It's not about you exist as a human being with the freedom of choice. And this is why Muslims, one of the biggest belief of them, they say you have to believe in Qadar. Al-Qadar khayruhu wa sharruhu. Qadar, which means destiny. So a Muslim, he believes in destiny, that even what he do in his daily life, it is designed and decided by Allah. So this is a total slavery for Muslims and non-Muslims. I hope I made my point clear.
That is so powerful, Dr. Bill Warner. I'm sure I have several questions and I have several power-packed statements to just analyze more of what Christian actually just spoke of concerning Sharia law. Dr. Bill Warner, what do you say in comparison or to just elaborate on what Christian actually has been speaking of concerning Sharia law? I mean, this is so important for us to truly know all of the different aspects of Islam and everything. I mean, this is probably one of the most informative interviews I've had concerning Islam, the judicial system, and how Sharia law actually executes, whether it be witnesses or not. Dr. Bill Warner, what do you have to say about that?
Repeat your question to the last part again, because I had another thought in my mind.
Oh, well, you can go forward with it.
Well, what I wanted to talk about is ethics, which we've actually touched on slightly here. I say that I do not care what a man's religion is. What I care about is what ethics and what character does his religion give him and his community. So this means if I'm dealing with a Hindu, I ask, well, what are the ethical qualities of being a Hindu? If I'm dealing with a Sikh, what are the ethical qualities? What are the characteristics of a Sikh? So this is a very non-religious view, but if you think about what I've just told you, when I say to any man, be you Christian, Jew, or whatever, I want to know how you will treat me. And I want to know what kind of a member of my community you will be. So this is a sort of political view, if you want, or a personal view, but the ethics is what really concerns me when I meet someone.
And I absolutely
If,
agree. When the first thing I want to just break down some of Christian's actual statements. He spoke of how Sharia law supports, even if there's a crime committed and the person is even guilty, if there is no men, you cannot have any type of conviction, or if there's only women or one woman, it will not be considered as a viable witness. Could you imagine in America if we had an actual judicial system that was governed by Sharia law, in which if there's no men, if there's only one woman, that it would not count? I mean, these are the things we have to ask ourselves in America and globally, as global leaders understand and have to deal more and more with the problem of Sharia law, and understanding that, as Christian stated, this is not something that promotes human rights, whether you're Muslim, non-Muslim, whether you're religious, non-religious. This is complete bondage. And he also spoke on Sharia law not allowing you to eat according to, or being forced to eat according to certain dietary rules. This isn't something in which you have a freedom to pray or not pray. And of course, in Christianity,
or even how to pray.
Or even how to pray. So you have Christianity in which we have a loving God, a God that says it's not his will that not one person is lost, and he gives rules in how we should seek him because he loves us, not out of custom, but of our heart. And so this is very important that we look at Sharia law and how it does not promote human rights. It does not promote any type of human solutions to our problems. And that is very important. Now, Christian, when you talk on a Sharia law and you speak on the acts of slavery, now this is a very important and passionate thing throughout the inner city in America and other places. And you have our country, which has a history of this, but very few understand how Islam in Africa and even in some parts of the Middle East and other places, how Islam directly promotes slavery, literally. This was one of the biggest reasons in which African Americans were sold off into slavery as well. But very few people speak on the aspect of slavery in Islam. And that is very important because it directly promoted it. It was historically. Now, we have a caller on the line. George?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, God bless you guys. I think I'm trying to ask, kind of touch basing on your topic because it's very important about there is a major part of the prayer involves cursing non-Christian, non-Muslim, Jew and Christian in particular. So Christian, if he can touch base, I know he's from Middle East or background in Arab area, so maybe he can give us some sources like Bukhari or Tabari can touch base on the cursing as prayer. It's mainly cursing people.
I didn't hear the last part of your question.
No, it's just a matter of repeating myself about if he can touch about the cursing prayer, because I heard the Imam on 2014 when the Catholic Pope invite a lot of scholars on prayer for peace, and I hear it in Arabic, and he ends by cursing all the infidels, which mainly curse all around him, on say, give us the victory over all the infidels.
Correct.
So this is the main part of this prayer, to cursing people.
Correct. Christian or Dr. Bill Warner, do you have any feedback?
The cursing is very big part of Islam. Yeah, I heard you. The cursing is very big part of Islam. And actually, you do not need to go to Sahih al-Bukhari. You can go to the Quran. Even the first chapter in the Quran, chapter 1, verse number 7, you will see that each time Muslim he pray, he say, not like those who they are lost, which is the Christians, and not like those who are cursed, which is the Jews. So a Muslim, he cannot even pray to God. The first thing in the morning he do, when he pray, he have to insult the Christians and he have to insult the Jews. However, the Quran mentioned many times about cursing the Christians and cursing the Jews and cursing whoever, a person who did not believe in Allah, a prophet. As an example, chapter 4, verse number 47. Uh, even in chapter 4, verse number 47, it's not only says, I curse you, he's giving a warning for the Christians that if you don't believe in Allah and His prophet, guess what? I'm going to turn your face the same as I did to the Jews, which mean in different verses in the Quran is speaking about Allah, He turned the Jews into monkeys and into pigs. So the Quran is saying, if you don't believe in me, I will curse you, and not only you will be cursed, just normal curse, I will turn your faces and your look into pigs and apes. So this is a very hateful religion, and cursing is not really a problem for a Muslim. Actually, there is something in Islam, it's called al-mubahala. Al-mubahala in Islam, there's two groups, like you and me, we want to debate. Debate in Islam is not the same as debate in, like what you see today in TV, a Muslim debating someone. This is not an Islamic debate. Actually, this is rejected by Islam. Muhammad, he will never accept to debate anyone. When a bunch of monks from Ethiopia, they came to Muhammad and they asked him to answer questions. He said, bring your family, I bring my family. Bring your children, I bring my children. And let us invoke God to curse the one who is dying. So this is the debate in Islam. It's about cursing. So Allah, may Allah curse the one who is lying. So even the idea of debate in Islam is about cursing. Like, so now I will give you the turn. I will say, it's your turn to curse yourself if you are lying. And then you give me the microphone and say, may Allah kill me if I'm lying, and vice versa. So this is a debate in Islam. It's a debate of cursing. So Islam is not logical. I believe it's strongly. This is a very stupid belief. And it's not meant to be for a civil human being who have a brain. Like if you have a little brain, you'd have to be genius. You will notice that this is not a religion who can even be accepted, not only in today. Actually, Islam was rejected in the time of Muhammad big time. The Arab don't want Muhammad. This is why you see Muhammad paid the family of Bani Umayyah 100 camels for each to convert to Islam. So the Quran speak about it. The Quran speak about buying those who their heart is into money. You know, وَالْمُؤَلَّفَ قُلُوبَهُم, buy their hearts. So Muhammad, he used money. Muhammad, he used violence. Muhammad used sex. Like he said to his followers, let us attack the Romans so we can get the blonde girls. Muhammad, he used whatever he can in order to get men fight for him. So he used discrimination. This is why he gave the men the upper hand over the women.
So
he used sexual desire. Go ahead, sir.
No, so concerning the prayer, this is not a prayer of any type of peace in which you see the religious leaders or Islamic leaders coming. What you're saying is that there's a specific aspect of hating Christians and hating Jews through these prayers in which it cannot be a peaceful religion or praying for peace because of these aspects. And I do understand everything you broke down, and hopefully that answers the caller's question as well. We do have a quick break we're going to be taking now, and we look to return back with a lot more questions and answers from Dr. Bill Warner and Christian Prince. Thank you.
Hello, and my name is Assad, and I'm just genuinely excited about this Apologetics Marathon from May 18th to May 30th, and here's why you should be too. You know that Jesus was the first apologist. Jesus said that we're supposed to make disciples of all nations and that he would make us fishers of men. And if you know anything about fishing, if you ask an expert fisherman, so what bait do you use? They will get frustrated with the question, what do you mean, what bait do I use? What's the kind of fish you're trying to catch? What's the circumstances? What's the depth of the water? What's the wind conditions? They have all these questions, and I want to challenge you that every one of us need to become better apologists, because in the book of Peter, it said we're always required to have an answer when people ask us the hope of the faith that we have. And I want to challenge you to understand that Jesus never answered questions. He answered people. And if we're going to win others to Christ, we have to learn how to answer people, not questions. When Nicodemus approached Jesus, Jesus said, you must be born again. When the rich young ruler approached Jesus, Jesus said, you must sell everything you have, give it to the poor, and come and follow me. And when the lady by the well was talking with Jesus, he said, I know that you're thirsty because you're looking for love in all the wrong places, exchanging your husbands all the time for new husbands. He said, I will give you water that will make you never thirst again. So Jesus, to different people, gave different answers, and we have to realize if we're going to share the love of Christ and truly be light and to be salt on this earth, we have to answer people, not answer questions. There's a great apologist named Abdul Murray who made this statement: if God is the greatest being, love is the greatest emotion and feeling, and self-sacrifice is the greatest expression of love. And no other religious belief has the greatest being proving the greatest emotion by demonstrating the greatest expression of it. So this is a week where you can dive in to become proficient, to learn, to search, to hunger, to be a better apologist, because in these times, it takes more than just blind faith to win others for Jesus. And I just want to challenge you that we're all to be driven by eternity. We all want to hear from the words of Jesus, well done, my good and faithful servant. We all need to do what Jesus did, and to the various people he puts across our path that we are to encounter, we're supposed to answer people, not answer questions. And the art of answering people instead of questions is the art of apologetics. Jesus was the first apologist. Will you be an apologist as well? Come and watch these shows May 18th and May 30th, 6 p.m., 8:30, and 10:30, and learn how to be an apologist. God bless you guys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back as we get into the topic of the Sharia law solve human problems. We have Dr. Bill Warner. We also have Christian Prince as well with us. And this is a very important topic today, being Memorial Day, when so many women and men have lost their lives fighting for freedom, fighting for liberty, and justice for all in America. For everyone globally who wants to embrace those same principles and virtues, freedom and liberty. So it's very important that we tune in very closely and educate ourselves on Sharia law and how this system, this judicial system, this government is really being set up by Muhammad and Islam. It is directly connected to the very letters of the Quran. So it's very important that we know this and that we can connect these dots and understand how this is being executed. We also have a caller in the line. Is it? Yes. Are you there?
Yes, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? I have something confused. Maybe somebody can correct me. You guys, you talk about Sharia law and about the killer in Islam and what I'm confused, like all the killer as the human, either Jewish, Christian, Muslim, Buddha, like how they kill in the Myanmar, like what happens in Ukraine, like what happens here in America in 2015, what we see it all the time, the white cub man, he killed the black people because he's a slave, is black color between two fingers all the time, and they release him from the court. And what the Christianity, they say, just you going in the church, you apologize for the God, and everything erase it, and you become a clear person. The second day it means that Christianity also, you can't go to kill anybody, and end of the day you go to apologize for the God, everything clear, and you take your cup of beer and you sleep deep and you see nice dream, and nothing happens with all the blood in the streets, you kill it, and you say, oh, this is a new system, a new government. But this government also they believing God, and they believing Jesus, and they believing Buddha, and they believing Jewish, like what Israel is doing every day in Palestine. From 1980, 48, they killed the Palestinians. They have Holocaust for the Palestinians after Holocaust Hitler. And this is, they have it with the Talmud and with the Torah. They teach the kids in the school every day you have to go to kill Muslim and the Christian. You not tell us about that, please. You can't put the spotlight, or you scared from Israel, or because here all America scared from Israel and the Zionists. Why we not tell about the world what Israel and the Jews to do it under the ground for to make the world and to make the people all the time they kill each other. And we need to clear, is that really can go to kill anybody and to come end of the day for Jesus to say, oh, Jesus, please support me, I'm sorry. The rest, all this is the second day you go to kill more. Look at America, what they do it in Venezuela now, what they do it in Africa. Before yesterday, how many people black you kill them in the street? The same police go in the Sunday, sorry, Father, in the church, I killed this, and I apologize. The God, he raised it. So what kind of this God? Please, can you clear for us what this system, for all this religion? Because we do not believe between what ISIS do it with Saudi Arabia, and what Israel, and what America, and what Myanmar, you make us confused. What Sharia law in Muslim, what Sharia law in Israel, what Sharia law in Vatican, what the priest he told you, you come up with that and everything erase it. Then you go to heaven. So what kind of this God, you don't have any human feeling? He created all the people even. So you guys, you took something, you make the people confused. Can somebody clear this for me? Where is this God? Every day the blood in the street. Can somebody do something? Thank you.
Yes. Christian Prince, Dr. Bill Warner, did you understand the caller's question?
I'm going to defer to Mr. Prince here.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything he said is absolutely false because he is basing things in wrong information. First, we don't go and kill, and then we go to Father and say, we forgive us, we are sorry. Who are the one who is killing in Syria? Who is the one who is killing in Africa? Is it called Boko Haram or Boko Christian? Is it called Al-Qaeda or Christian Al-Qaeda? Is it called ISIS Christians or it's called ISIS Islam? What are you talking about? You are a hypocrite and you are a false person. However, you spoke about Israel. If you go to your Quran, if you know your Quran, you will never open this topic. In the Quran, chapter 5, verse number 21, your God, Allah, He is the one who asked the Jews to go and kill the Palestinian. This is in your Quran. يا قوم ادخلوا الأرض المقدسة التي كتب الله لكم ولا ترتدوا على أدباركم فتنقلبوا خاسرين. Go and fight and kill those who they are there. And you will see the Jews, they refused to go and kill the Palestinian, which was the order of Allah. And this is why Allah, He cursed them and He made them lose their way and mislead them in the desert for 40 years. What their problem? Because they refused to go and fight the Palestinian and kill them and take their land. So if you are talking about taking the land of the Palestinian according to your Quran, it is your God Allah who gave them gave the Jews the land, and He is the one actually who created the problem. So shame on you to put it and blame it in the Jew when it is your God Allah who ordered the Jews to take it. I'm not talking about the Bible yet. Secondly, when you talk about killing and forgiving, can you quote for me one verse? Jesus said, fight those who don't believe in Jesus. It's not exist, but in your Quran, it's all over. Fight those who don't believe. Fight those, even those Muslims who don't want to pray, even those who don't want to pay the zakat. The Prophet of Islam said, I've been ordered to fight all people, all, no exception, until they say there's no God but Allah, and there's no Prophet but Muhammad, and they do the prayer, and they pay the zakat, and then only, and they obey the Prophet and Allah, and then, and only then, they will protect their blood from being shed by me. So shame on you to put lies together. What Ukraine have to do with the Christianity? What America even had to do with Christianity? America actually today is the number one supporter for the Islamic faith. When Muslims, they go and fight in Yemen, why America support Saudi Arabia, which is killing Muslims, Muslims killing Muslims? And, and because I know at the end is going to end by saying America is the one who did. When they attack Saddam Hussein, it is you Muslims who kiss the shoes of George Bush to come and invade Iraq. Go and read your history. You Muslims are the one who create every chaos in the world, and yet you blame it either in the Jews or in the Christians. You know, when you cannot have peace in your religion, how you ask for peace? Every day you pray, you read the Quran, which is recitation against a human being like you. Fight them, kill them wherever you find them, hate them. The Quran in chapter 5, verse 14 says, I will spread hate and enmity between the Christians. So shame on you to speak about love when your book is saying, I will spread hate between the Christians. What kind of God he say, I will spread hate? What kind of God he target the Christians? You see, the God of the Christians says, love your enemy. Pray for them, those who curse you. You see the difference? Your God says, I will spread hate. And I'm giving you reference. I'm not making my own quotation. I'm not coming with your, like what you are saying, like, you know, we go to the church and we ask our God for forgiveness. This is false. You see, a Christian, he is not someone who asks God for forgiveness. He is someone who follows Jesus. So I challenge you to show me how many people Jesus killed, how many slaves he owned, how many attacks he did, how many caravans he attacked and he took their property, how many women he kidnapped from their family. None. But if you ask me the same question about your prophet, I will show you that even your prophet in the Quran was accused of stealing an underwear. What kind of a prophet? He was accused of stealing underclothes. This is how trashy he is, and his followers they are, because if they are people of respect. They attack a Jew, they killed him, and now they are fighting over his clothes, not only over his gold, it's even over under his underwear. This is how trashy this religion is. And yet they come to us and say, look what the Jews are doing, what the Jews did. Who is the one who started the war with the Jews? They never attacked you. Go and read your history. Go and read your history. But Muslims are people who they are ignorant in purpose, which means they play victims always. Whatever happened to them, they have to blame someone else. Actually, Muhammad, he said, if there is no Jew, there is no beef or decay, which means even he blamed the food to be damaged because of the Jew. And you will notice that Muhammad, he started hating the Jews for a reason, because they expose him and they show everybody that this guy is a false prophet. And then he started to divide between the Christian and the Jews. So he said, the most people who hate you is the one who call themselves Jews, and the most who they are close to you is the one who calls themselves Nasara, which means Christians, trying to create division between the Jews and the Christian. But when that did not work, Muhammad, he started attacking the Christians. So Muhammad, he do things in stages. However, everything in Islam is based on hate. Your religion is a religion of fighting and killing and attacking. And if you don't like it, then change it. Don't come to me with the speeches. You know, I want to see a real Muslim who can show me a real Quran saying, love your enemy, love the Jews, forgive the Jews. Not someone go to the mosque says, may Allah kill everybody, may Allah curse the Jews, may Allah curse the Christians. You know, name for me one Islamic country have peace. Name for me one place in the world Muslims they go to and there's no shooting and suicide bombing. How many suicide bombers we had in the last 20 years made by a Christian? How many kidnapping made for 300 girls, school girls made by Christians? How many school people like in Russia? You know, 500 child was slaughtered by the Islamic militant. Even in Pakistan, just a few months ago, the Muslim militant, they attacked an Islamic school. Imagine, those are Muslims. And they slaughtered almost 200 child with no mercy. This is your religion. Don't blame the Jews. There's no Jews in Pakistan. There's no American in Pakistan. So they kill, they slaughter, and they blame everyone else for their filth. And this is exactly what Islam is about.
Christian, you have a very great point. I mean, honestly, God bless you, because the truth that you are displaying right now, I hope our listeners can listen very carefully and understand. Islam demotes women and makes a woman to be not equal as other citizens or of men as well. Islam is what goes out and commits jihadists on a mass level. Islam is what creates this Sharia law in which a kafir is considered to be an unbeliever, and you are to war against unbelievers. You are to kill unbelievers and those who don't believe. This is completely different from Christianity, which tells you to love your neighbor, which tells you that it's not one will, that no one is separated from our Father. So that is very important that you're pointing this out, because Christianity and Islam is totally different.
And you know, Brother Darwin, let me show you the hypocrisy of Muslims. Once I have a debate with a Muslim scholar, I said to him, how come Allah in chapter 5, verse 21 says to the Jews, go and kill the Palestinians and take their land? He said it was okay at that time because at that time the Palestinians, they were not Muslims. Imagine the hypocrisy. It is okay to take their land at that time because they were not Muslims, but not today. And that is going to lead me to something else. That means Allah, He Himself do not know that the Palestinians one day they will be Muslims. So He made a stupid mistake. He ordered the Jews to take the land, and now He tried to correct it by asking Hamas to fight and get the land. So
Correct,
don't
Christian.
blame the Jews. It is your God.
Yeah, I want to say 100%. Yeah, the caller's statements are not adding up, and that is completely true. Each time Muslims and there was Islamic extremists and everyone who attacked Israel, they were defeated each time of this. And they even gave their land back and created and did everything in their power to create peace with their surrounding neighbors. And they only have gotten attacked in return. They have only got promises from Iran and ISIS to annihilate the Jewish people and the Jewish state. So you are absolutely correct with those statements. Now, is Sheila still on the line? Is Sheila, are you there? Okay, I think she was actually online. We had a caller that actually came on. But you are 100% correct, Christian, when you have the hypocrisy of Islam, which continues to lie, as long as it's okay that it's non-Muslim. You can kill those who will not convert as long as they are non-Muslims refusing to join in Islam. And so that is very important. Now, so we don't have a caller actually on the line. Now, Dr. Warner, do you have any statements or any feedback on that as well?
First off, let me say that I think that Mr. Prince is probably the best at this that I've seen. Yes. I feel like I can only elaborate on the ground that he's laid. I will say this, that in terms of killing, there's a very interesting site devoted to killing by Islam. It's called thereligionofpeace.com. And as a scientist, I've tabulated some of the work they give and found it very interesting that on a consistent basis, jihad or the violence of Islam is visited twice as much on Muslims as it is on either Christians or Jews. So the most dangerous enemy that a Muslim has is not the Jew, not the Christian, but another Muslim. And I think that this is borne out through history. Abu Bakr, the first caliph, his first job was to kill those Muslims who wanted to leave, because apostasy is a capital crime, to use a technical term here in America. So, but all of this, of course, gets back to the ethical position, which has been stated that the ethics of Islam are very dualistic. There's one set of moral code for Muslims and another for the kafir. And we've already mentioned this, that a Muslim is not to kill another Muslim, but he can kill a kafir. A Muslim is not to rape another Muslim, but he can rape a kafir. A Muslim may not lie to another Muslim, but it's okay to lie to a kafir, particularly under jihad. So this just reaches my point of ethics, is that the ethical system of Islam is not based upon the golden rule. The laws of the Shariah are not based upon the golden rule, but in terms of the gentleman who's speaking to different religions, the Jews have a golden rule, Christians have a golden rule, Buddhists have a golden rule, the Sikhs have a golden rule. I have atheist friends who practice the golden rule, but the golden rule is forbidden under Islam.
Wow, that's really interesting. So now we have another caller. CL, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad you can hear me. I'm glad I tuned in. This is a very interesting show. Very interesting. Seeing you guys go back and forth like this. This guy that you had on the line earlier, the Arab guy. I hope he's still listening. I hope he's still listening, man. I pray for this guy, because this guy, he's very lost. Very lost. To remind me of myself. I don't know if Christian Prince can hear me right now, but a few years ago, I used to argue with Christian Prince on internet when I was a Muslim, and I was a Muslim upon the Salafi Dawah. Very hard-headed, and he used to try to correct me and straighten me out like he's doing this gentleman that you just had on the line. Another thing I wanted to bring back up, which you brought up earlier, was the situation with the monks from Najran. That's an interesting thing that Christian Prince said about how the monks challenged Muhammad to debate, to a formal debate. Muhammad refused, and instead he challenged them to curse themselves. Shows you that debating is not something that's from Islam. We're doing a lot of challenging of Muslims to debates and to critically think about Islam and the Quran and Hadith. But that's really not their thing. That's not really a part of their religion. Maybe we should, I don't know, maybe we need to think of something else, think of a different angle to come at them from. I don't know. But that's just my little 2 cents that I wanted to add to the program. You guys keep up the good work, and I'll pray for you.
Thank you, and God bless.
Well, just to mention, because I like to give reference always when I talk about things. I want to say thank you to the brother, and I'm so glad for him that he left Islam. Maybe he can remind me of himself, because I spoke to thousands and thousands of Muslims trying to help them to understand Islam. Even the person who just called before, I am not against you, by the way. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to save you from this cult. This is a disgusting cult. Let me show you what your prophet said about Islam, how to debate, because the brother here, he mentioned that again. We mentioned it before, we didn't give reference. In chapter 3, verse number 61, it says, فَمَنْ حَاجَّكَ فِيهِ مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ. Those who they are asking you for questions and debate, what do? Say to them, invite your children and our children, invite your women and our women, invite yourself and ourselves, and let us ask God to curse the one who is lying. What kind of debate is debate? What kind of a prophet is prophet? Imagine someone come to Jesus, says to him, Jesus, I have a question for you. And then Jesus says, oh, invite your women, I invite my women. Invite your children, I invite my children. Invite yourself, and invite myself, and let us invoke God to curse the one who is lying. That is the most stupid things ever I heard, because simply, if a Muslim, he believes in Islam, he is not lying. This is what he believes in. If someone is a Hindu debating me about Hinduism, he is not lying. This is what he believes. So even the idea of the debate is stupid. The idea of understanding that the one is debating you is lying is stupid. Unless, like now, I understand that Muslims, they lie based on their religion. But usually, a person who believes in something, he's not lying. If a Muslim says to me, I believe in Muhammad as a prophet, should I say to him, let us curse the one is lying? Why? This is stupid. He believed in that. He's not lying. He believed that Muhammad is a prophet. I believe that Jesus is my Lord. So who is lying here? There's nobody lying. Not him, not me. I can be wrong, he can be wrong, but this is not about lying. So Muhammad, he don't even have the simple basic understanding. But I will tell you why Muhammad, he made that statement. Because Muhammad is a person of disability. He cannot answer. This is why in chapter 5, verse 101 says, ask not questions. Verse 102, it says, because former generations, they asked the same questions and they lost their faith. So Muhammad, he forbid questions. Muhammad, he will never debate you, because simply he will lose the debate. And this is why Muslims actually, ABN and every TV channel I go in, they cannot find me one Muslim to debate me, because they run away. They choose their cherries. They try to find a soft Christian who know nothing about Islam to debate. But when it's come to someone he can burn Islam, they run away. I advise you, the one who called before, to get my books. Maybe you can learn something. I have the Deception of Allah, to show you how God of Islam is nothing but deception. And I have my second book, which is Quran and Science in Depth. I would like to give it to you even as a gift. So maybe you can be saved and you can know the true Lord, the one who says, love your enemy. The one who says, if somebody asks you for your coat, give him your address. The one who says, go and teach and preach all the world, all nations, not the black, not the white, not the Arab. This is Jesus. So I invite you to him.
Wow, that is so powerful. I mean, honestly, God bless you, Christian. I come across, Muslims who just clearly they don't know really their true doctrine. They don't really understand, and when you begin to question them, they do and they will question their faith. So I believe we discovered something, and I would like to even make sure we critically understand. So one way of really getting the faith of Christianity and of Jesus Christ to the Muslim is simply to challenge them. Now, the Bible is really clear about being ready in season and out of season, to have a strong faith and have a reason for why you actually believe in what you believe in. So we've noticed and we've discovered that show that in Islam, you don't have a true reason of why you believe. And in fact, you want to discourage any type of critical analyzing of what you believe or your faith, because if we really share truth to falsehood, or even what you perceive to be truth, you will realize that it's false. So the more we challenge Islam, the more we challenge the discrepancies in moral and unethical practices of Sharia law and all of these things, you will continue to break down the false facade of Islam and the deception. And that's very important, the deception that is Islam. And I believe that is the exact same way that we should challenge these individuals. So we have a break now, and we want to get back and be able to continue this discussion, and God bless.
Welcome to the Trinity Channel at ABN. My name is Nahran Anweya, and I am an Assyrian American activist. I advocate for the persecuted Assyrian Christians and fellow Yazidis in Iraq that are being persecuted. We need all of your help to stand up, and it is because of the media and wonderful channels like the Trinity Channel that I am able to send a message to voice the cries of the voiceless, unfortunately, in the Middle East. And we need all of your help and your support. Please visit the www.trinitychannel.com, or please call their office, 248-416-1300. I would like you to know that when they marked our brothers and sisters with the N for Nazarene in the Middle East, they marked all of us. So this is a joint effort, and it is all of our obligation to help.
That's right, Nahran, and we're teaming together as we are here in our studio. I'm Chris Conway, one of the hosts on a variety of programs that I have the opportunity to be a part of. But there are many people here that are behind the scenes. We have a number of people that work in our crew, people that work on our staff, and certainly people like yourself who watch our shows, who pray for us, and continue to support us financially. And we'd like to ask that you continue to keep us front of mind as we continue to minister to people. Without your support, without your partnership, we won't have a ministry here. So we want to continue to let God enable us, but also encourage you to support us as well. So we're grateful for your support. You know, Christian apologetics, one may say, or one may ask, what does that mean? We're not apologizing for what we believe in, but we are here to defend because we have a passion to serve God and defend the faith. So we want to continue to do that, and certainly with your help, that will happen. So Nahran and I just want to extend a hearty thank you, but also we wish to have your continued support as we move forward. And God bless Nahran, as she's been very involved supporting people that definitely need it because they're persecuted, people all over the world, and in many cases people won't know unless people like Nahran and others are doing the work, and then ministries like ours that are sharing what's going on in the world. So
absolutely, and this is all one joined effort, so we are family in Christ.
Absolutely, absolutely. So God bless you. Be a part of our ministry, a part of our family. Continue to support the Trinity Channel at that number again?
248-416-1300, and God bless Trinity.
Hello and welcome back. We're finishing our segment. Does Sharia law actually equate to human solutions? Does Sharia law give solutions to humankind or to humanity? And we have Dr. Bill Warner here, and we would like to have you, sir, finish out and have any statements concerning just the finishing out of the show. We've had such great debate, and we've had Christian Prince, who has been just a dynamic minister of truth to just shed light on the falsehood of Islam and the falsehood of Sharia law, and just understanding that this is a religion of deception, a religion of hate. So Dr. Bill Warner, we would like to have you share your feedback to finish out the segment.
First off, let me say that one of the wonderful things about ABN is what we've just been experiencing here. In America, there's very little open discussion about the truth of Islam. And this is the reason that I come on to ABN, is because it's one of the few venues where you can actually hear Islam discussed in a factual basis. And the other nice thing about watching ABN is, like today, I've never met Mr. Prince before. But I've got to tell you that one day I would like to meet him in person, because he is a man the kind of guy that I like. He knows what he's talking about, and he's very firm in it. Today we see people being shy with their opinions. Political correctness has made liars out of many of us. And so people like Mr. Prince are a real breath of fresh air. And the whole business that ABN which is involved in, which is like an open discussion. I'm a scientist by training. And in science advances by debate, not authoritative reasoning. That is, just because a man is a scientist doesn't mean you can't challenge what he says. And with ABN, we see that we're actually indulging in critical thought, using factual reasoning. And so this is a wonderful show. The only problem with it is we don't have 1,000 of them across America. I do a radio show every Friday from 11 to 12, and it's talk radio, and I say when we get off the air, I don't know why more people don't want to discuss political Islam, because it is fascinating to learn about. It's a world that's different from ours, and ABN is a place that gives us a place to learn about such a different world that is called Islam.
Wow, and I just want to say you're absolutely correct. I think Christopher has been dynamic, and I also would like to say that your political correct has been a cancer to our society. It has allowed the falsehood of Islam and so many other topics to just continue to go unnoticed and even grow, because we can't challenge these things without being called Islamophobic or homophobic or some type of hate monger or a bigot. And we're just telling the truth about these things. So thank you, and God bless Dr. Bill Warner, and continue your efforts and all that you do. We have two callers on the line. George, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. God bless you guys. I came in the first of the show, but I'm still hearing, and I want to pray for that person who is coming to seek for the truth. And the truth we believe that Jesus will tell us all the human being is a sheep, went astray without Jesus. So we agree. We are Christian, Jew, name it. They are sheep, went astray without Jesus. But we are comparing between Jesus saying and Muhammad saying. So if you Christian can elaborate about all the Muslim believe about when the last day comes, there is a tree and a rock will confess behind him a Jew to come, the believer, the Muslim, to kill them. So all the Muslims in their hearts, they hate Jew because that's what Allah asked them to do. So I hope you can elaborate on, give us a quote from where that saying, because all the Muslim scholars, and they train the young Muslim to be a scholar in this aspect, and I hear it a lot of shows about the cursing from the tree to the Jew to come in, a believer, to kill them.
Wow. Okay. Wow. I just want to say thank you for those words. We have such great commentary right now, and I appreciate the bold convictions, because as Dr. Warner stated, we need strong conviction, and we need to not be moved It's very important because the Bible says a double-minded person is unstable in all their ways. It's really time that we stand firm on the truth and not be apologetic for it. And it's very important. But Christian, do you have any feedback for our caller?
Well, this what he said is absolutely true. This is in the book of Sahih al-Bukhari, volume number 4, book number 52. Muhammad, he said that the judgment day will come, and if there is a Jew he hide behind a tree or a rock, the tree or the rock will scream saying, there's a Jew behind me, kill him. However, Muhammad, his dream is to kill every Christian too. You see, Muslims, they say Saturday first and Sunday next. So some people, they think it's just against the Jews. Islam is against the humanity, because when they finish with the Jews and the Christians, what they will do? They will turn to the Hindus and then to the Buddhas. You know, this is a filthy religion, and then they will turn against themselves, because can you see what Muslims doing to each other? Because in Islam is a religion, it's called a religion of fitna, which means a religion of trouble. Every 5 people, they create their own organization, and they say, we are the correct Muslims, and we should kill everybody else. This is what Islam it's about. It's actually, I believe Islam is going to be destroyed by Islam, not by Christian, not by Jews, not by anyone. Islam already is in the process of destruction, because Muslims are destroying their own self. You see, Islam is a religion which is, they drink poison and they pray to God to kill you. This is what they do, because hate is a poison. You drink it, but you wish people to die with your hate. The fact you are the one is dying Muslims. I advise you that to leave Islam, because this is not a religion will teach you to live as a human being. This is a religion is making you believe that you pray to others to die, but you are the one who's dying. You see, you go to Christian church, you will see Christian praying for everybody in this earth. Christian, non-Christian, Hindus, Jews, Muslims, doesn't matter. We pray for everybody. This is why our life is different. But your life is really sick. You go to the mosque, you start cursing everybody. Why you want to curse everybody? Why you don't pray for them to see the truth? Why you don't pray for them to be better? You see, we pray for even Muslims, we pray for them to be healthy, wealthy, good life, happy. We pray for everybody, because Jesus all is about love. In the same time, ask yourself, if you cannot find peace inside your heart, how you can find peace anywhere? You don't have it, you cannot give it. And this is a very golden rule to understand life. You cannot give something you yourself you don't have. You have no peace in your heart. This is why you will never know peace. You will never learn about peace, and you will never understand Jesus as long you are like this. Leave the Satan, stay away from him. You know, I believe strongly Islam is a very satanic religion based on hate, sponsored by Satan. You see, everybody have a sponsor. Islam is sponsored by Satan. And the proof is that this religion is based in dividing people, not uniting people. Islam is a religion divide women from men, black from white. Like, maybe we can make a topic in the ABN about the black people in Islam, because I would like to show my brothers and sisters, the African, how much Islam hate the black people, because they've been told a lot of false information about Islam is a religion of unity. There's no white, there's no black in Islam. The fact it is the opposite. Actually, Muhammad, he said it clearly that Satan is a black. Muhammad, he said, kill every dog, he is a black, which means in Islam, even not only human rights have a problem, even animals have a problem. Because what kind of a prophet he is targeting dogs? What's wrong with you? Even dogs, you want to kill them?
Wow.
Just because they are black? What about killing a black cat? Just because it's black? They asked Muhammad, what the difference between a black cat, a black dog, and yellow dog, and white dog? He said, or golden dog. He said, the black dog is a devil. So this is a person who have a mental issue. He cannot even think in a right way, because there's no difference between a black and white dog. You must be crazy to believe in this. So I advise Muslims to listen carefully to what their prophet is saying, and they will find that this is not a prophet. This is just a deceiver, and you are a victim. And this is why we love you, because you are a victim. We want to save you from Islam, and we present for you the best of the best, the Lord of the Lord, the King of the King. This is why you see Muhammad says, Allah, he hated the one who called himself the King of the Kings, and he means Jesus, because that is the Satan. Allah is saying, I am the enemy of the King of the Kings. I am the enemy of Jesus. This is why Muhammad, he said, I am the eraser. They asked him, eraser of what? He said, eraser of Christianity and Judaism.
Completely
This
agree.
is
Now, we have another caller, Orlando. Are you on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Question?
Yes. This is a little sensitive. I've never heard anything on that line on
on debates, and it's a little sensitive, as I said. Is it true that Muhammad had sex with a dead woman? And second thing, in the not the Quran but the Hadith, does it say anything about Muslims men are allowed to have sex with animals?
Are you here, Christian? Are you aware of what he said?
Yeah. I don't know if you want to give, because I feel like I'm taking over the show. You know,
No,
this
no,
is a
no.
story about Muhammad.
You have been used by God, Christian. Please, if you could take,
thank you.
because
Yeah.
you have such insight, and several people have stated that you have a very strong wisdom on this issue, and so many individuals are learning from you right now, including myself.
All right. Well, you know, Muhammad, he slept with the mother of Ali, Fatima, in the grave. Now, you ask the Muslims, why Muhammad, he slept with Fatima in the grave? You know, the Arab, when a woman, she die, they take off her clothes, she is naked, and they wash her, which is pre-Islamic tradition, not really Islamic. And then Muhammad, he went to the grave, and he slept with the mother of Ali. Now, if you ask a Muslim why he did that, he says that hadith saying that Muhammad, he slept with her because he wanna let the pressure of the grave lighter. The pressure of the grave lighter, what does that mean? You know, she is dead already. And like, you know, is Muhammad trying to say that I can do what someone before me did? You know, he laid down next to a child and he make him come back to life? Obviously, it's not working. So why he slept with the women? She is naked in the grave and she is not even a Muslim. She is not even a believer. This is why Ali, he was crying. So Muhammad, he slept with a dead woman simply because she is beautiful. Otherwise, I challenge any Muslim to give me a reason. Give me a reason for doing that. And Muhammad, he come with many weird things, actually. Not only this, what about the breastfeeding? Muhammad, he come with the rule that a Muslim man, if he want to enter to a woman, she is a strange woman to him, he have to suck her breast, excuse my language, for 10 satisfied time, and then he can go in her house alone. Like, come on, you know, imagine what kind of rule. You cannot shake hands with of women, but you are going to suck their breast? That doesn't make sense. That is crazy. And this is a story of Sahla bint Suhail when she told him there's a guy, he is looking at me in a bad way, which means in a sexual way. So he said to her, we'll suckle him. She said, how I'm going to suckle him? And then he's an adult man. So he said, and he laughed. He said, I know he's an adult man. So, you know, Muhammad is simply making fun of Muslims. This is how I see it. This guy, he is coming with stupid things. And those people, whatever Muhammad say, they take it. The Prophet said, that's it. The Prophet, he did, that's it. You know, now, if you ask a Muslim, by the way, why you accept...
The second question, which was about animals, as far as the Prophet being able to basically sleep with animals or have sexual relations with animals.
There's a hadith, you know, explaining about having a sexual relationship with animals, and the Muslim, they say, well, this is explaining if you did that, you have to wash. I cannot talk about it really now because this is a very dirty topic, and maybe we can make it an adult section for this for late time, so no kids will be watching, because it's very, very, very graphic, you know, if I want to go and read word by word. So that is something really disgusting. And maybe we can set a time for this to talk about it.
Okay, next caller on the line. Are you there? Is it Nabil?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for this great program. I want to mention one of the deceptions that's used by the Muslims. They're using the name of Jesus, which is mentioned in the Quran as Isa, to preach to the Americans, the Western society, the teaching of Christ as if it is the teaching of Muhammad. They say, oh, Jesus is in I attended one of the interfaith dialogue. It was Jesus and Islam. I thought I was sitting in a church listening to a sermon about Christ's teaching. And when I asked the question, you told this is the Christian's teaching, he said, yeah, because it is Jesus and Islam, and Jesus is mentioned in the Islam. But Muhammad we are going to talk about. So they are using the deception, and I'm warning all the Americans and the Westerns to avoid that and be alert, and like what you are doing right now. And Sharia is not at all. It is against democracy, against everything. And when you listen to the Arabic imams, they say it flatly. Democracy is not Islamic at all. And I would like to add one thing to what the guest said about the Muhammad when he slept with the Ali's mother. Because he wants to ease the torture of the tomb, and there is a definition of the torture of the tomb where the Muhammad says in the hadith that the tomb compresses and collapses, and there is a snake, a bold snake that comes through the mouth and gets from the other end and torture the dead person and all of these crazy, unimaginable things. And thank you so much for the great program you've offered. Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless.
You know, I have an advice for Christians when they go to a church. The first question you ask in the church, there's two questions to know what kind of a church it is. Ask them what they think about Islam, and ask them what they say about gays and lesbians. If they start giving you a question, an answer which is not an answer, this is not a Christian church to go to. It's mean the priest, the minister there is a hypocrite man. He's politically correct. This is not a man to trust. This is not a man of God. A man of God, he have no problem to say things as it is in the Bible. As a man of God, he will say the truth as it is. He will not fear no one. I'm not going to be politically correct. I'm going to say what I believe. And this is the question you ask. What do you think about Muhammad? If he starts saying to you, Islam is a religion and we respect everybody, and etc. If he starts saying that, it means this person is a hypocrite. He's no Christian. He has nothing to do with Jesus. You saw Jesus, he have no problem to say to the hypocrites, sons of snakes and vipers. This is Jesus. He's not insulting, he's describing them. So if you don't dare to say who is Muhammad, you don't belong to Jesus. If you don't dare to say who is the one who is deceiving millions and millions and billions of people, you don't belong to Jesus. So this is my advice. You go to a church, ask two questions, and then you will find out who they are. Don't wait and go and many weeks, etc. No, the first day you go there, ask the minister there who is going to teach you in this church, what do you think about those topics, and see the answer, and then you can judge. You know, Jesus said, from their fruits you will know them, and the fruit of a priest or a minister is his words, his teaching. If his teaching doesn't match with the Bible, he is no minister. He is a person who presents the devil.
Correct. And I just want to say, we spoke, just to give a quick summary, of a kafir, which is an unbeliever, someone that is outside of Islam, and how Islam and Sharia law oppresses. It actually places into slavery the individual who is not a believer in Allah or into the Prophet Muhammad. We discussed how Sharia law really, if you're not a man, as far as in the judicial system, if a crime is committed, that it is not considered as a witness if you are a woman, or if there's one woman present. And hearing these things about Sharia law, we have to keep in mind of the Constitution of America that was built on Judeo-Christian values, how nearly 50% of the Constitution was drafted from the Bible, how our founding fathers believed in religious freedom, but more importantly, understanding how the biblical role of our country being formed in its documentations with its founding fathers, all connected back to the Bible. So keeping these things in mind, we're down to the last 60 seconds of the show, and I would just like to say to be blessed, be encouraged, and make sure we continue to critically educate ourselves and challenge the falsehood of Islam, challenge the falsehood of Sharia law, and make sure that our nation remains built on the Bible and the God of Israel. So with that being said, thank you. God bless. My name is Darwin Giles, host of today's show. And I would like to just say thank you for tuning in and for being with us on ABN during our Apologetics Marathon. Thank you, and God bless.